Here are my best tips for anybody who goes thrifting to resell items online for profit. Knowing what certain fabrics feel like will save you a ton of time if you don't want to look at the tag of each item. There are many times where I feel silk, I feel cashmere, I feel wool, and then I'm able to look at the tag for that item so that I don't have to, again, spend time looking at every single tag for every single item, not only the label tag, but also the materials tag. If you find a good item in one size, check that size in every other section. Chances are somebody has donated their collection or a couple items from their closet, and it may be scattered around in the same size but just different sections. And on that topic, if you find a good brand and then you find a couple items nearby that you maybe don't recognize the brand, always look those brands up. That has saved me so many times where I find a new brand that is similar in value to that other item. I just did not know the brand beforehand, so always look up the brands next to the items that you find. There are just way too many factors to figure out when is the perfect time to thrift versus when is a not so great time to thrift. I use reverse psychology in my thought process. For example, my local thrift stores have a teacher day, they have a senior citizen day, so most people would avoid those days, especially people who are resellers. I actually go on those days because I know that it's not going to be flooded with resellers, it's going to be flooded with the people trying to get those discounts for the day. I also prefer thrifting in the evening. My thrift stores restock items all throughout the day, so I find that I actually have the best selection towards closing versus opening when everyone kind of flocks to the store at the same time. Another thing I do is I keep an eye out for a bunch of items bunched together that are not in the correct section. That's likely someone's putbacks. I will go through those and grab anything that I want. If I don't know a brand, I will look at fabric content and I will also look at where it's made. If it's made in China, I am less likely to pick it up, but if it's made somewhere like India, Indonesia, USA, etc., somewhere just basically not China, because a lot of things are mass produced in China, I will look it up, especially if it has a good fabric content. Almost always, if it's 100% polyester, I don't even give it the time of day. If you have the time, look through everything and don't limit yourself to only men's fashion, only women's fashion, only home goods. Of course, if you're on a time crunch, do what you gotta do, but I limited myself on women's fashion and only women's fashion in my size. For some reason, it felt weird to buy things that wouldn't potentially fit me. I don't know what it was, something in my head, but do not limit yourself because you are missing out on profit. Checking comps is a must. It doesn't matter what brand it is, it doesn't matter what fabric content it is. If you do not check the comps, you will likely be disappointed when you get home and research the item to list it. So it will not only save you time, but also help you earn a bigger profit. If you look up comps, which is comparable items that are on the internet, look up the sold comps specifically, because anyone can list something for any price. You need to look at what things are actually going for, and also the sell-through rate, which means how quickly things are moving after they are listed to after they are sold. If you see an item that's kind of half off a rack, that likely means someone else was interested in it and looked at it. Make sure you look at those and don't just skip over those. Everyone's thrifting experience is going to be different. Your local area is going to be different. Your specific stores are going to be different. So what may work for me may not work for you, but these are just the things that I do to kind of maximize my thrifting experience. That's a little insight to my thrifting process. I usually spend about 2 hours a week at a thrift store or thrift stores, just depending on how my week is going. If you have any best tips and tricks that you use for your thrifting process and for your business, be sure to leave those in the comments. We all can never stop learning.